This week, I made you watch Teen Beach Movie from 2013, starring Brady and Mac, who are played by Ross Lynch and Mia Mitchell. Two surfers, they get sucked inside a musical, which is a rip-off of sort of Grease mixed with Back to the Future's plot, mixed with a terrible supervillain thing. It's a bad musical they get sucked into. They have to live it. She hates it. He loves it. Hijinks ensue. What did you think of Teen Beach Movie, Caitlin?
Well, I thought it was very cringy. The film was so much like Grease. The plot line of the actual musical itself, two rival gangs falling in love. It was, yeah.
Very Romeo and Juliet, except without the threat.
Yeah, except with the bad guy, he is a little bit of a threat.
The bad guy is a threat. So there's a bad guy. There's a guy who wants to buy the beach to build buildings, and to that end, he hires a mad supervillain to make a weather-controlling machine. It's not really that relevant to the film.
No, it's just so that they can get transported.
It's just so they can get out at the end.
Into and out of the musical.
Into the musical. I don't know how they got into the musical. They kind of just drowned.
Yeah,
Maybe they're dead the whole time. So the film starts. They're going out, which is I thought was surprising. The fact that they're already boyfriend and girlfriend from the start of the film.
My expectation was that they'd fall in love during the film, but obviously, like they were already
They
together.
get so that Brady and Mac they're together at the beginning of the film, but she's got to go and leave the beach to go and get a decent career at some fancy private school, because her evil, and by evil you mean achieve wanting guardian. Is it her?
Yeah,
aunt?
I think it was her aunt. I think they played that quite well. She was the bad guy, but she wasn't evil. She was wanting what was best for her. She was presented as quite a good character, even though her actions weren't the best.
My nostalgia, so I always thought she was like this, I'm going to take you away from the beach now. You'll never ever come back again. But no, when I rewatched it for this, she was actually quite chill.
Yeah.
I was hoping to get lots of nice sound bites of her going, your endless summer is over, which is what she says. But when you go back and listen to it, she says it quite calmly. Gotta go take you to school now. Gotta go tomorrow.
It's just that tomorrow there are these extreme conditions I've been waiting my entire life to surf.
Surf? Oh, sweetheart. Your new life begins tomorrow. Your endless summer has come to an end.
It's one of those things where if a parent was to watch it, or like when we watched it growing up, you sympathise with her more and understand that. And it's not a bad character. No,
and you think the grandpa... I think they're trying to go for the sort of the kind grandpa in the Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah.
Sort of like the Grandpa Max from Ben 10. I don't know if you saw it.
Yeah.
But he didn't really have any lines. I can't think of him having lines apart from, look, she looks like she's going to drown in that wave. And then he just stood on the beach watching her almost drown, even though it's his granddaughter.
Yeah.
How was Brady involved? Was he just sort of on the beach? Because at first I thought it was his granddad and then it was her aunt, but then I realised it was her aunt and her granddad, and Brady's just sort of her boyfriend there.
Yeah, I thought the relationship between Mac and her grandpa was not believable.
He didn't really care. He cared.
Yeah.
They said that he cared, and he was like, oh, maybe we shouldn't send her to boarding school. But he didn't actually do anything at all.
It's like the end bit when he was saying how proud he was or whatever.
He was proud of something.
She was proud to be like her grandpa at the end. And
all her grandpa did was watch her drown.
And it was just like a little awkward kind of scene, I felt. She didn't really hug him properly. It was a bit weird.
Well, that comes up to the bit that happens straight after she's told that she has to leave. She dumps Brady, and Brady's like, what? Why? I'm leaving the beach. I don't need a surfer boyfriend right now, because I'm going to law school or whatever she's going to go do. And then she goes off to surf on this huge wave because he bribes. Come on, one big wave, one last surf.
She wanted it, yeah.
She wanted it, but then the sky turns grey. It looks like the whole of the end of the world, and the granddad's like, "Oh, doesn't look very nice weather out there. She's not paddling in." And so he's worried that his granddaughter's going to drown, but it doesn't stop Brady going over and stealing a little jet ski thing and zipping out into the middle of the ocean to save her when he's just said she looks like she's in danger. He doesn't care about this other teenager going out into the middle of it.
I suppose he's not his grandson, is he? He just doesn't care.
He didn't care about his own. He should have been on the jet ski. Where's my granddad and girl trapped in musical?
I think the lifeguard should have been on the jet ski.
Maybe Brady's the lifeguard. Maybe that's how they met.
Maybe.
Who knows?
No, the Mac and Brady seem to have quite a good relationship. Like
It's
the
weird.
acting kind of was quite.
It was good. They had a lot of chemistry. You
Yeah.
could believe that they were a couple, and it was kind of weird. You're like, she just broke up with him, but he's still pretty chill. And
He was not even heartbroken about that.
he
like-
was pretty heartbroken.
He's
He doesn't quite believe it. He's like, she's dumped me because she's going, but not because she wants to. She's still into me, and he kind of goes with that throughout the whole film.
It kind of looked like he knew that she'd change her mind. You know what I
He's
mean?
like, I get her. I'll get her eventually.
No, I didn't like that acting bit though when he was like upset. It's like,
Well, when she just broke up with him at the, he's like, no, why do you do this?
Can't believe you didn't tell me.
I don't understand how hard I tried. I didn't know how.
You're leaving? Just like that? Why are they making you do this?
They're not making me. It's my choice.
So change your mind.
There's not enough time. My flight leaves at noon tomorrow.
I kind of like the fact that even though he's in love with her, and he's pretty, you can tell he wants her. You can tell he's only interested in being with her. Doesn't
Yeah.
stop him looking at the other girls though, because he's
that bit in that song where he's like tapping his cheek for a kiss.
I didn't see him tapping his cheek, does
Yeah.
he?
What was
Oh, in the Cruising for a Bruiser. Yeah,
for a Bruiser
yeah.
movie,
I do
so-
remember him getting the cheek. I didn't remember him tapping her for it.
Yeah, he taps his cheek so that she'll kiss him on the cheek.
Okay, so before we
Oh.
get there, so they go out. So she's in the storm, he's in the storm. They both look like they're dead. They drown. They go under the water.
Yeah.
They pop up, and they're in a lovely little sunny bit of beach. And it's the beach from the film. And the film was established earlier because him and the granddad were watching it together, and they loved it. And she hates it because she thinks musicals are dumb, which I think is interesting.
Nice foreshadowing.
Nice foreshadowing.
Mm.
That's why I thought him and the granddad were related, because he gets on with the granddad better than she seems to get under the granddad. Like him and the granddad are tight. That's probably why he probably met her through the granddad, maybe.
That would be weird.
But if the
but-
granddad owns the restaurant and he's a beach bum all the time,
You know,
and
he owns
for
the
sun-
surf shop.
surf shop. If he's a surfer boy and he's always there, and it's established that he surfs too, even though you don't see him surf, because he just
No.
watches her. But then later on in the film, she says that he taught her everything she knows.
Yeah.
So I guess she just was
But-
better than him
Yeah,
after
probably.
teaching.
No, I like the fact that she can actually surf though, the actress.
Yeah.
And
I think it's
all-
really funny when her and the guy who clearly can't surf have to surf together, so it's on the worst green screen
Oh,
ever.
I hated that. That
It's
was
so
literally so fake in the musical. But I think it acted as a bit of a contrast between real life and the musical.
Because he's sort of just like a plastic Barbie doll and it's sort of sliding along the surf.
Oh god, he does look like that, doesn't he? Little
He-
Ken doll.
Did you expect him to be so high pitched?
No.
You would have thought you look at him and you think this is a Zac Efron. This is a Disney Channel movie. This is a Zac Efron. But no, it's like, what if Zac Efron had too much helium and it stayed in his brain and made him brain dead too?
Yeah. God, he's got such stupid moments.
So they end up on the beach and everyone's singing and dancing. He recognized it. So Mac hasn't actually seen the whole film, which is why she doesn't know lots of it, which I think is interesting. But he knows it and he loves it.
Yeah.
So he recognizes it's the film that he's been in, and she's like, "No, I don't want to be here." No, which I found amusing. So they sing along. You got these awful roll calls, and it's ridiculous.
I'm Tanner, Seacat,
Giggles.
Rascal,
Kiki.
Brady.
I'm Mac.
Pretty much sums it up.
It's very campy, very ridiculous, and then it sort of gets better. I thought the film got better as it went along because it sort of just chugged through, and it had its little plot points.
Yeah. I liked the fact that it like sniped, like made little quibs at itself.
Mac is continually dumping on this movie for being campy and ridiculous.
They're just the best bits in the film.
You like Mac?
Yeah, I like the bit when the exaggerated bad guy comes up and she literally says, "Guess this film never won an Oscar."
Yeah.
It's
It's so good.
It's just the best one inside the entire film.
And this thing never won an Oscar.
And I like that he appreciates that the film has flaws as well. He's like, "Wow, why does the girl need the guy all the time?" And it's like, well, it was 1962.
Okay, so when Layla sings that song about finding the perfect boy and being happy,
See, that's exactly my point. Why did she need a boy to be happy?
because it's 1962.
Come
Yeah.
on, it was an old film. Because even though this film looks like a Disney Channel musical, it's actually meant to be an
Meant
old-timey...
to be
in
set,
the canon of the universe, it's an old-timey film, which I think's amusing.
Oh yeah, talking about they kind of get away with the whole sexism like undertones through it being in 1960, and they combat that.
By her being
With
aggressively
Mac, yeah.
modern, saying, you can ask the guy out, you don't need him to. And they're like,
Yeah.
no, you gotta make him a pie. Come on, Mac. What you doing?
That is quite good. I like that part with how they contrast that and try to send young girls today a different message. Because that is still an issue today.
Now, on the
I love
rewatch,
them.
I realised why I quite like this film quite so much as I did. It's because it just copies the plot from Back to the Future, which you haven't seen. But I can tell you, in that film, Marty McFly goes back in time. He accidentally stops his mum and his dad meeting, and then his mum falls in love with him, so he has to keep going to his dad and saying, oh, Dad, you got to be strong, you got to be buff, so that you can win his mum, which I think is really fun, and it's a really sweet little thing. But in this, because they're in the movie, the main characters are meant to meet each other and fall in love. But he and Mac, they accidentally get in the way. So main girl interest falls into his arms, and she distracts main guy interest. So they've interrupted the movie, and it has very similar Back to the Future moments. In Back to the Future, the more he changes the past, the more bits of a photograph of his family disappear. And it reminded me just like, because when Mac's getting trapped in the movie, her surfboard disappears. And I'd imagine if it had kept going, her swimsuit would have disappeared. No, her surfboard
Her
doesn't.
swimsuit
Only her
is-
swimsuit
yeah.
disappeared. The surfboard stays. Yeah, so I thought that was a little interesting comparison.
Yeah, like Back to the Future, but with songs.
And it's like Back to the Future, but with not as good songs as Back to the Future. It's not a musical, but it does have great songs as well.
Does it?
Yeah, we'll watch that sometime.
But yeah, the songs were somewhat catchy, I suppose.
You love them, and you can't deny, and I love them too, and you can't deny.
The
Oh.
lip singing, though, that was dreadful.
The what?
They were like lip singing the entire way through.
Were they? Oh, I don't think they were in Falling For You.
No, that one was quite good, but others were dreadful.
Less good.
Yeah.
So, okay, so it is musical, so we'll do a little thing. What was your top 3 songs, and what was your worst? I guess that a lot of the ones were just neutral to you, but what was your number 1 worst song? But top 3.
I think I have 2 favorite songs.
Don't have a third. Did it not make that much of an impact to you? We're watching Teen Beach 2 soon, and I think that's got even worse songs than this.
Oh God. Okay. Falling for You.
Falling For You.
Oh, I love that one.
I love that one.
Unusually swoon, but I'm over the moon. 'Cause he was just too cool for school. And now I'm falling for you, falling for you. Can't hold on any longer. And now I'm falling for you. Feels like I tumbled from another world into your arms, and it's so secure. Maybe I'll stumble, but I know for sure. Head over heels, I'm gonna be your girl.
I've listened to that so many times since I've seen that film.
That one is the most actually well-sung song in the film.
It's ridiculously cute as well.
Yeah.
And they time it really well, the scene. So it's obviously, she literally falls off the stage and he catches her, and that's when Falling For You kicks in for the chorus. And I think that was a really well shot scene.
Yeah.
It really worked.
Yeah, I like how she's like singing in his arms a bit.
That's cute.
Mm,
It's
yeah.
very cute.
What other films? Oh, What Boys Like.
What boys like. So I found it really cute. So it's the boys from this 1962. So they're very macho. Not so much sexist, but they're very.
Yeah.
She likes it when you're in control.
They're doing like the stereotypical like male roles and stereotypical female roles, and then they've got these 2 modern main characters, which just contrast with them completely.
Take a lead. She likes it when you're in control. Let her breathe. Chill and go with the flow. Make all the plans. Don't be impolite. I know what girls. Yeah, I know what girls like.
Tanner, that's the male love interest. He's like, oh, all the girls, they think I'm groovy.
All the girls, they think I'm groovy.
Yeah, but just even in that song, like the dance moves, the guys flicking their shirts and stuff.
You like the synchronicity as well. I can tell you
Oh,
did.
God, it's-
Like the girls start singing and the boys start singing in the bar. So the boys are at the bar, the girls are at a sleepover. Mac's singing about what she wants from a guy, and that's very similar to how Brady's acting. And Brady's singing about what he wants from a girl, and that's very similar to Mac. But the 2 main characters that are no longer in love with each other, they're giving their sort of semi-1962 versions of what they think male and female should have, and they agree with each other's views. And you can tell it's
Yeah.
like they're meant for each other, because all the things that they love, they each other love. It was cute how they sort of had a thing. So what do you think the worst song in the movie was?
Oh, there's like several. No.
So many to choose from.
No, I didn't like the first one where they sang "Meant to Be," not the reprise.
The first Meant to Be. I
Yeah.
quite like Meant to Be. I put that maybe 3rd or
Really?
4th.
No, I liked it like when it was sung by just the two of them each time.
When it's meant to be, the stars seem to glisten. Meant to be, all the clouds depart. When it's meant to be.
Yeah.
But when you're all singing together, all four of them, it was just bad. They weren't like not even on harmony. They were shocking.
Four eyes meet, and the meat is sweet. Could it lead to something more?
What's the deal when the way you feel is something you never felt before?
There was no harmony. There was singing.
That is what most musicals would.
I know, but they were
No,
singing
but I
at the
get
same
you.
time, so you want them to be like
In harmony.
in sync, kind of. Well,
I'd sing that song from High School Musical, but I don't remember the lyrics. And I heard you had a problem with cruising for a bruising.
You better run, run, run. Here we come. Revving our engines under the sun. You're cruising for a bruising.
that one too. Yeah,
Didn't like cruising for a bruising, but they're revving their engines.
it is just the first song, and it was just like.
It's not the first song though. It's the first song in the bar.
Oh yeah.
Cruising for a
was
bruising, they
the-
go into the bar.
Oh,
So
there's
they-
the one outside first, isn't there?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You are not a fan of cruising for a bruising. Back to the plot. So they end up on the beach. They go into the bar, which so the bikers want this bar for a biker joint, and that leads to a hilarious line from the boss, who seems to be thick as two planks. And then that gets into conflict with the surfers, who want it to be sort of a beach bum out area. They want to chill there. Conflict arises. There's meant to be the turf war over the two people, the main biker girl's sister and the main surfer falling in love, Romeo and Juliet. But it doesn't really work because Romeo and Juliet, they kill people.
Yeah, but it's like a kid's version.
No, I'm saying there's no threat. That's the whole point. That's why they have to keep it secret. What's they gonna do? What's Tanner gonna do? If
Yeah, they just hate each other
They hate
just
each
for
other.
the sake of hating each
no,
other.
but what would they do about it? They're both really weedy. Like if it was like proper big beach hunks, like the big like I don't know Baywatch kind of guys, versus proper like gritty little bikers. But Disney chose like the only one who looks like he has any sort of muscle is Tanner, but he's also
Tanner's
got
also
no brain.
yeah, an idiot.
He's also an idiot. And the biker guy, he looks a little bit threatening when he breaks. He was like, oh, he could beat up Seacat. Seacat. He
A
could
lot
beat
of
up.
clicks all the time.
Yeah. But no, he's thick too.
I
They're
love
very thick.
the bit at the end where the biker guy cries.
The biker guy cries. When is this? Oh, when they get together.
Yeah.
He gets them together.
And he
Oh,
looks
that's
like
cute.
he's about to punch him because he's this big hard biker guy, and then breaks stereotypes and cries.
Who is your favorite character?
Oh, Mac, definitely.
Mac. See, I like Mac, but then I don't like the fact that at the end of the film she decides to stay and become a beach bum anyway. She's like, for the whole film, she's like, I don't need the guy for a perfect happy ending. But then she chooses the guy for the perfect happy ending, Caitlin.
That is true. That's like the little bit. It's like the whole message is like a little bit of be strong, you don't need a guy. And then that ending is like,
I don't care if she chooses to like stay with a guy and like not go to this career-based path. But if she hadn't been saying that she didn't want to do it throughout the whole of the film. But
Yeah.
she did it well. She and Brady had a lot of chemistry. I thought they worked
Yeah.
really well together. Brady was my favorite most of the time. He just had a few moments. I love how much of a fanboy he is, and it answers some of the questions in your head. Like, if he really loves Mac, why would he almost get with Layla, who's the film's main character, girl, love
several
interest?
times.
But you think about it. He's loved this film since he was a kid. He's been crushing on this film character since he was a kid. Like you remember? Do you have like crushes that you used to have on like, I don't know, you like, crush on Zac Efron when High School Musical was out or whatever, that kind of thing.
Probably.
And then
oh,
you're-
Percy Jackson.
Percy Jackson, and then you're in the movie and you're replacing Annabelle.
Uh,
You see, he's got the emotional attach. He has It's not like she's just a hot girl who he fancies. He's got the emotional attachment of rewatching this film loads and loads of times.
Yeah.
And he even says, "It's like, I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting for this my whole life."
oh God, oh, that was a cringy line.
Oh, but it worked. It worked for the scene. Anyway, so they steal each other's partners. They have a lot of failed attempts to get them together. Eventually, they go and they accidentally let the supervillain find out that they know his plot, And obviously he's like, how do you know my plot? Have you watched the film? He doesn't know it. So the supervillain kidnaps them, and in the time they've been kidnapped, Tanner and Layla find each other. They instantly fall in love. I thought it was sort of like rabbits. You sort of leave them in a cage, and then they'll instantly...
Oh, God.
All they did was leave them each other for 5 minutes, and they fell in love. And they're like, oh, no, we've already promised those 2 other newcomers that we've fallen in love with them, but I kind of like you more. Do you think they'll mind?
I think it's funny when they like... When they've just fallen in love, they're both stood next to each other, and then all these random people run in, and they act like they can't find each other, so she has to stand on that rock and wave to
To be
him.
fair, it was the dialogue that happened before that scene with Tanner. It's like, oh, are you serious? And it's like, I'm not serious, I'm Tanner.
You know what?
No, I don't know that either.
I've always wanted to ride a motorcycle.
Are you serious?
No, I'm Tanner.
And he's like, I think I can believe that he lost her in a crowd of like 10 people. And she had to stand on the rock. It was a magical moment.
And then she fell again.
Then she fell into his arms, the correct man, the right man. And that's what I want you to learn, Caitlin. If you fall off enough things, the right man may or may not catch you eventually. Do you like the Angry Birds reference they made?
Oh, yeah. That was funny.
I thought that clashed so badly. I hated that. That
Did
made
you
me so
really?
mad. It's like the Twitter reference in Moana. I hated it.
I don't remember a Twitter reference.
Like Dwayne The Rock Johnson, he's like, oh, I get a bird to send a message. It's called a tweet or something like that. I hate anything related to phones in films.
Yeah. No,
I
I thought
do.
the Angry Birds message was funny. It was like a little, like an inside joke, which only he would get.
I
And the
appreciate
audience.
if it was maybe a film joke, maybe a joke about the film. Maybe he knew the act. Maybe they established that like Seacat's actor had like I don't know died in a car crash, and then you see Seacat being a real bad driver, and he's like, oh no, there's that Seacat. He can't drive. Lol. But no, yeah. So the bikers and the Beach Boys, they unite to rescue Mac and Brady from the supervillain. They break all the stuff. The supervillain gets really upset because they tell him that he's in a movie. That really bums him out a bit. They eventually come together. They ride the surfboard into the ocean. They re-drown, and then they pop up back when the storm's still going on. And so the storm's still going on. She still has a chance to ride the wave. But I would have thought the storm would be over, you know? Because if
Yeah.
the storm is what took them there,
Well, the storm was like meant to be magical. It was triggered by her surfboard, right?
was that surfboard? At the beginning of the film, they talk about a magic surfboard. Is that the same surfboard she used?
Yeah.
Because I was going to say, because they don't really say it. I would have thought the granddad would be like, hey, that's my magic surfboard.
No, because like they point it out and they're like, yeah, we've still got it. It's our magic surfboard. And then
That's just our magic surfboard. It's been in the shop for a week.
yeah, and then she goes and takes it out of her to like discover her destiny, and it transports her magically.
And Brady, even though he was on a jet ski. I love how mad she is that he tried to save her. She's like, I didn't need saving. I was doing a mad surf.
Yeah, like, but you did. You were drowning. Like,
It's like,
you know.
come on, mate. Your granddad said you were drowning. He doesn't care that I drowned, but at least I got to save you. My favourite bit leading up to the finale is the biker boss. Out of nowhere, he's had about 2 lines of dialogue this whole film. And then he goes, wait, guys, I got a fear of lighthouses. And then they're just like, it just goes instantly. He comes, he says, I've got a fear of lighthouses. They say, we're here behind you. And he says, my fear is gone.
I gotta be honest with you, I'm not big on lighthouses. It's kind of a thing. For some people it's snakes, for some people it's heights. For me, it's lighthouses.
Oh, you can do this. We're all with you. What do you say?
Whoa, my fear is gone. Let's go!
And it's
Oh god,
and that's the best bit. It's got a whole little character arc in 2 lines. It's amazing.
like character development there.
The whole film was about biker boss getting over his fear of lighthouses, Caitlin. To be fair,
Real
at
moral
that
of the
point, the
story.
lighthouse is the supervillain's base, and it is shooting out death beams across the bay. But he says it like he's always been scared of lighthouses, but we haven't ever seen him. Maybe that's why he hates the beach. Maybe that's why the bikers that he leads hate the beach, because he's scared of lighthouses. Caitlin, you've seen it.
That's the real reason.
The real reason for the turf war. So they get back, they're happy. She says, no, Aunt, I don't want to go and be a successful woman in business. You love it, but I want to be a beach girl forever. And I can always change my mind later. And they have one last song, which is in the real world, which really made me mad. And
No, that ruined everything.
Yeah, I can tell it made you grumpy too.
The exact, like, the songs, the over-the-top dances, the songs and everything, they were justified by the fact that it was in a musical. Like,
I
literally.
really found it enjoyable because it was like they're in a musical, they have to sing, and there's a whole song. Another one that's my top three. You got Fallen for You, you got Girls and Boys, and you got the third song, which is I Don't Want to Dance. I can't remember what it's called. She doesn't want to sing or dance, but she has to because she's in a musical, and it makes sense. But then when they get out of the musical, they have a dance and song number.
It's just, if the fact that everyone else took part in it as well, and you had a load of strangers just randomly dancing, just broke with the plot so much. It's just irritating.
Just irritating. I can see the anger boiling up in you. So we've reached the end of this film discussion. What are your overall thoughts of Teen Beach? Analysis. What did you think?
Ooh. I thought it was good for kids, but I wouldn't watch it again.
But you would for the songs.
Oh, those songs.
You love Fallen for You.
Just Falling for You. I'll just watch it on YouTube.
So that's Caitlin's recommendation. Watch Fallen for You on YouTube. Don't watch Teen Beach Movie.
Pretty
fair-
much.
If you watch a playlist of the songs, because there's no songs about the supervillains. So if you were to watch a playlist of just the songs, at no point would you even know about the supervillain plot.
That's true.
The supervillain plot is unneeded. I thought it was too campy for the film.
They should have had like a superhero song.
They shouldn't have had it. They should have just cut the supervillains out and had it like proper Grease to the Future. It was Grease to the Future on the beach.
Yeah, they should have, but then they wouldn't have any plot with the storm.
Yeah, but the storm could just come at the end of the film naturally. And then they have to get the film back on track because nothing's... Because when they disrupt the film, the characters don't do anything. The side characters are just confused standing there.
Yeah, true.
And it would make sense... Maybe if the weather stopped too, that they couldn't feel the wind anymore because the film wasn't working. And then that way they'd have to get the film back on track to keep the storm going.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So you didn't need the weather machine. At one point, the guy drinks plutonium. And I swear that's very radioactive. It's a bit too campy for me.
It's a bit too extreme. No, I don't understand the beach. What is it called,
Mama's Hut, Beach Mama's Hut.
Mama's
Basically,
Hut.
that's the name of the restaurant that bikers and the surfers are fighting over.
I have no idea why it's on the beach. So surely that's surfers turf.
Surfers turf. Bikers are out of line.
Yeah.
You're gonna put them bikers in their place.
No, but like there's this big argument about it. But like the bikes can't go on the sand, so.
But boss, how are we gonna make it a biker-only joint?
So, boss, how are we gonna get Big Mama Sweet only a biker joint? Shut up, I'm thinking.
How long is that gonna take?
Oh, great, now I got two things to think about.
Why would you want to?
They love
Next to the beach.
He's scared of the lighthouse. He needs to have a place to hide from the lighthouse, and Mama's Hut is the only indoor area of the next 50 miles.
Clearly. Needs to stop looking at it.
There needs to be what if they established that there was a petrol station right next to it? Would you support that?
Yeah, then. Because
Like-
that would make more sense. Because it's like.
We love this restaurant. We can fill up on gas next door.
Whereas, like, the way it looks like the only entrance is through the sand. Do you remember, like, and they ran in from the beach straight into the restaurant. So this restaurant is literally right on the sand. You have to walk on the sand to get inside. There's no other way. And these bikers, they came in on a bike at one point. The main biker dude came in on his bike, revving his engine.
Did he come into the restaurant?
Yes.
Yes, he did. I'd forgotten about that.
How
God.
did he even get that bike in there?
Because he's run, right and ready. Whatever the lyrics to Cruising for a Bruising were. He was cruising for a bruising, Caitlin. And if you keep chatting, you keep talking about the bikers that way, you'll be cruising for a bruising too. And on that note, we move on to film number 2. Your choice for the week, Radio Rebel.
For my choice this week, I made James watch Radio Rebel. Radio Rebel is a Disney Channel original movie. No. And it was actually based on a book. Did you know?
I didn't know Disney channels could base anything on anything other than films that were more successful than them.
No, it's based on a book called Shrinking Violet.
It's a better name than Radio Rebel.
Yeah. It was produced in 2012, and it's about a girl who is really shy, nervous, introverted, and she creates a radio station in which she's a confident, amazing person.
Uplifting, one would say.
Uplifting. And she somehow becomes famous in this high school, and everyone hates... Well, no, there's this girl called...
Stacy,
Stacy.
the teen bully drama queen. She wants to be prom queen.
who wants to be prom queen, who's like the school bully, school bitch. And she bullies Tara quite a bit, Tara being the main character.
She looks familiar. I don't know who she is. She looks really familiar. What's she been in?
Debbie Ryan. She's in A Sweet Life on Deck.
Oh, God.
And she's in...
Jessie.
Jessie, that's it. Did you watch Jessie?
No, I didn't watch Jessie.
Oh, yeah, she's in Jessie. It's where she babysits these kids.
Yeah, I saw the premise. It kind of looked awful.
It wasn't bad. I watched it. It was good.
Yeah, but you watched a Teen Beach movie, so your taste is vastly skewed. The favour of poor quality.
The worst thing ever. No.
Teen Beach movie is not the worst thing ever. Teen Beach movie is more fun than this. This Radio Rebel. I enjoyed Radio Rebel.
Okay, just to clarify.
Shall we go into?
It's rubbish.
Shall we go into the film then?
Yeah.
So you've summarised it. She's a shy girl.
So yeah.
She has a secret radio station on SoundCloud or something. I don't know how she's publishing it. She's doing it from her bedroom. Everyone loves her at school except for the drama, the bully girl. And the headmistress hates her because she's like riling the students up to fight the status quo, which they say about 10 times in the first... It's weird. In the first 10 minutes, they say fight the status quo like 10 times. And you think that's going to be the catchphrase for the movie. But then they never say it again for the rest of the film.
No, it's very much about like being more confident and not letting other people's views
Bring you
influence
down. Okay, so going into the film, I had some predictions. You showed me the trailer, which was magical.
Of course.
It was awful.
It
wasn't as bad as the trailer.
Yeah, but like Disney movies, they don't put a lot of money into the trailers.
Well, how could they not? Because all it is cut and paste scenes from their film with a guy talking over them.
I know. But
In a world where there was a girl who had a terrible TV station. Whatever it was. Anyway, so my prediction was she runs a secret radio station, which I got from the trailer. So that's kind of cheating. So I am a kind of cheat. Hannah Montana-esque, where she sort of runs out of the room, does a secret broadcast, and then she's back, and they're like, oh, where did she go? But she's definitely not Rebel Radio. But it didn't get like that until the end. But that was kind of a natural progression because she was getting more and more desperate because they were sort of shutting down the radio station and the witch hunts for Rebel Radio, and she was like, no, I need to go do a secret broadcast, please. I predicted that the school establishment, like the headmistress and teachers, they'd hate her and they'd want to shut her down. And I thought halfway through the film, when the climax would be the school shutting her down, and then the students would go, "Oh, bring back Rebel Radio." Sort of like, have you seen Van Wilder?
No, I haven't.
In Van Wilder, he gets kicked out of the university because a minor at one of his parties drinks booze and like gets dropped at the place. And then at his court case, all the students are like, "Let Van Wilder go." But no, that didn't happen. Similar, the school did try and shut it down. They did like a sort of a witch hunty kind of thing. I predicted that the boy fancies Radio Rebel but doesn't fancy her, which is sort of true.
That is true.
He sort of knows. I think he knows. He doesn't know, but he sort of acts like he knows.
He knows after she like does the sandwich bit, where they swap.
Yes, he
and
does.
He distracts.
The sandwich bit, which we'll get to, and I'll go into the plot. But that is a beautiful moment. I'd already forgotten that. I always block
was
out.
one of the best bits.
Is that your favourite bit? I can tell you really love this movie because you got such a big smile on your face. Then again, you did have a big smile on your face complaining about Teen Beach Movie, so
Who knows?
maybe you're a masochist. Okay, so Tara's dad owns a radio station, and I thought, okay, so she's been doing it secretly on the sly in her dad's radio station, but no, she's got the setup in her room for some reason. It's so annoying. The first bit is just full of little teens sniping at each other. You got some amazingly poor lines from the bully, like I can't remember, something about being shy. It's like, got something to say, shy girl,
yeah.
and it's so dumb.
One time, I accidentally swallowed a tiny piece of tinfoil, so now I'm afraid if I stand too close to the microwave, I'll explode.
And then she gets home, and then her parents are like, "Oh, you heard this Radio Rebel? She's a real rebel. She's really good." And I'm like, "Oh, so you don't recognize your own daughter's voice?" The dad's a stepdad, and that's a little bit of conflict there. And I'm like, so maybe he wouldn't, like on radio, maybe he wouldn't recognize it. But it turns out she uses a voice modulator, but it doesn't sound like she uses a voice modulator. So I wonder if they even did a voice modulator, Maybe for the audience, we hear her as a natural self so that we don't get confused. Because I would get pretty confused if a girl who used a voice modulator sounded differently. Wouldn't you?
Yeah. The thing with the stepdad is like throughout the film they get closer.
They get
through
closer.
Radio Rebel, which is cute.
At the beginning, they're kind of hostile towards. Well, she's hostile towards him, and he's sort of like, "What do I do with this girl?
Yeah.
What is girl? How does girl?" But But no, he owns a radio station. He loves Radio Rebel, and he says, "Come on, be on Radio Rebel. We do Radio Rebel on my actual radio station rather than being like a little indie online thing." And she's like, "All right," even though she doesn't want to, and she gets really stressed about it. There's a cute little scene. They go to the radio station. She makes friends with some woman who works there. She's really nice. She's cool. She comes in throughout the film as well and helps her, doesn't she?
Oh yeah,
She's a sort of
I
assistant.
like her.
She was cute.
She's a good character.
She was a good friend. There's sort of a side story about this little band called the G's, which is where the love interest, who's a guy with a really thin head. What was his name? It was Gavin. Gavin was his name because
Gavin.
the other guy's got a different name beginning with G. Anyway, Gavin is all about Radio Rebel. Stacy wants Gavin to be prom king with her because he's really popular now because of his band, and he's not about that life because he seems pretty chill. But he's like, he doesn't like show her off. He's like, okay, I'll go prom with you. He doesn't care because he's fancied Tara for ages. Oh no.
No, but like
He was waiting for her to make the move.
no, he wasn't.
He seems real into her when she starts talking about bands with him, though.
Yeah, but like physically, I think he was more into Stacy.
I don't think he cared. I
It's
think he
like-
was getting with Stacey just because she's there,
Yeah,
and she asked him, and was like, "All right."
it's like with the bit where the song was on, and they were all get up and dance in the middle class. Yeah, and he went to her first and tried to dance with her, and then it's like when she rejected him.
No, he didn't go to Stacey.
Yeah, he
No,
did.
he didn't. He was just like sort of, "All right, Stacey, you're not gonna dance. Like, what are you gonna do, Stace?" And she's like, "Nah, I ain't dancing. Ain't about that Radio Rebel." And then he's like, "Well, I'm gonna go dance on my own then." He couldn't deal with Stace.
Yeah, so then he starts dancing, and it's the most cringiest dancing ever, clicking his little fingers.
Hey, he was cute. He's got his thin
Tara.
head. He's flapping around in the wind. Anyway, we're nowhere near that point yet. That's ages
Oh
away.
yeah, okay.
She's got the job at Radio Rebel now. She's like, I'm on radio. I'm on actual radio. And all her friends are listening to Radio Rebel. Stacey's getting more mad about it. She's like, oh no, now people around the world are loving Radio Rebel. Nobody's loving me. And it's sort of people are like, who's going to find Radio Rebel? And they've got these two comedic side characters. And they're called Barry and Larry, I think.
Oh god, yeah.
They
That's
look,
funny.
one looks like discount Rupert Grint. It looks like if you put Rupert Grint through the wash and then sort of shrank him a little bit. But they're trying to find out who Radio Rebel is. They're obsessed with finding out who it is. They're doing her voice through voice software. Obviously, not going to find out because modulated, apparently. And because they don't think it's Tara, so they're not putting her voice on the spectrum. They're the best bit of the movie.
They're funny. I love the bit when they like stake out in boxes.
Oh, they stake out the radio station for about weeks in boxes. They even do call-ins to the radio station from their boxes.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, so the parents find out. I was amazed that the parents actually found out. I expected them to be blind throughout the whole film. Like, oh, and then at the end, it'd be like, my daughter's Radio Rebel? Oh my God. But no.
No, the stepdad, that was like an important thing for him to find out, so that she got
Pushed, because she gets pushed. Radio Rebel, she was confident on Radio Rebel, but she wasn't confident because she was hiding in her room the whole time doing it. And it made her feel confident, but she wasn't actually being confident.
like outside. Like, she's very timid.
She's mute, one could say.
Yeah.
She's like Hermione if Hermione didn't have a massive ego. So she just sits at the back quietly doing nothing and not answering any questions.
Her character was a little annoying, how she just kind of
She's
changed.
ridiculous. At the beginning, she was annoying. When they're like, oh, write something on the whiteboard. And she goes to the whiteboard and has a breakdown. Then falls over, hits her head on a table, and then like knocks a book off. And then everyone laughs at her. I'd laugh.
I'd laugh.
I'd laugh. I feel sorry for her, but gosh, she was ridiculous.
Like, you can write something on a whiteboard, I think.
I don't like how much of a, like, I don't know, she was like such a hipster Radio Rebel. She's like, oh, believe in the you that believes in me. Oh.
That's very cringy lines. And
There's some amazing bits of advice, like music is the soundtrack of your life. They're stealing your life track.
I love that. You're not allowed to listen to music in class, so they're getting confiscated. That's it. They're taking
But they're
our
not
music away from us.
They're taking our lives away from us. They're not even taking it away from them in class. They're taking it away from them in the corridors, which I thought was weird, and at lunchtime. But I guess it's
Yeah.
just there are schools strict like that. My old school, when a new head took over, he was stealing everybody's phones regardless of whether people are using them. And they use them at lunch.
Really?
Yeah, it
That's
was kind
bad.
of awful. But moving on from my awful child. So we've got the Gavins. There's a nice Gavin, which is thin head, and then there's his friend who starts sort of nice. They're sort of on the same level, but as the fame gets to his head, he gets more and more angry. And as the fame goes to Gavin, he becomes more and more of a boring music hipster. Because he's like, oh, the band's not playing my sound.
So it's Gavin and Gabe.
Gavin and Gabe, the G's.
Yeah.
He gives her a demo because they're like getting on a bit. They have to do a drama project together. So him and her and Gavin are having to talk, even though she loves him so much and she can barely talk to him. That's a cute scene, the drama one, the first drama one, where they have to confess. She has to confess her love to him, and she does it properly, and it's really cute. And he can tell from that point she wants him.
I know, but that's just cringy, isn't it?
But they did it well. It wasn't that cringy.
It wasn't too bad. It was cute, but
I thought they did
the
it.
idea of it is cringy.
Oh, the idea they had to do some terrible drama thing where she had to be a guy pretending to be a girl. It was a dumb idea. Not as dumb as her friend's Spork play. Her friend had a play on sporks. I love that.
That was funny.
So they're having this. I thought they did it quite well. They built up to it. He got more interested in her because she found out like music. He gave her the demo disc. He thinks that she gave the disc to Radio Rebel, which got him on national radio, which is a big thing.
Yeah.
Well, that's a big thing.
It's kind of obvious that she was Radio Rebel.
She's the only person who has this disc, and she chooses. I thought it was going to be an accident. I predicted, oh no, she's put the disc in the demo. That's going to risk her ID.
Yeah.
Because it was on the top of a stack of discs, and she's like, and this is the song, but the G's, and it really inspires me. And I'm like, come on, girl, you're the only one who has it.
She only played that because she like fancies a guy anyway.
No, Radio Rebel doesn't fancy him. That's Tara.
The same person.
Radio Rebel is not a good name to give your main character.
Oh dear.
They should have called it RR or something.
RR.
It's like, oh, the R. The R is on Radio Rebel.
Definitely not.
It's like Zorro. They
Radio
shouldn't.
Rebel's like a little bit of alliteration.
But it's too long.
Nice play on words, kids.
What if it seems ridiculous. They wouldn't say it. Why would this station? The station will be called Radio Rebel. It's her show, the Radio Rebel show. I got it.
Yeah.
I am the Radio Rebel. They could have called a Rebel.
I understand that, yeah.
You get what I mean? It seems excessively.
Instead of people having to repeat Radio Rebel.
And they do. How they repeat Radio Rebel. Because every time Tara says anything, every character in the film will give her Radio Rebel's advice back to her. Which I found, it started cringy, and I was like, this is quite funny. I was like, okay, every time she tries to do anything, everyone's just like, you should just be on that Radio Rebel.
Yeah.
Come on, Radio Rebel said that you got to wear red today. Radio Rebel says stand up and dance. That's stupid. She gives them these little quests, these little jobs to do every day.
Yeah.
And
But if that was like somebody who was popular or someone you didn't like, you'd say that they were just testing to see how much their followers like are loyal to them.
Obey Radio Rebel. Praise be to the red sun. But yeah, she gives them these little tasks. Yeah, so she's dancing with Gavin, and he's doing his snappy fingers. Ooh.
Oh.
The school getting sick of her. Stacey's getting sick of her too.
That head teacher though. Funny.
That head teacher, it's not funny because I can relate. 'Cause I've had head teachers stealing everybody's phones and stuff, bringing down the establishment, fight the power.
No, I love how like small she is. You know the bit when
You like how small she is?
they're playing in the car. They're playing the music in the car park.
Radio Rebel gets banned at school, so they take the car with speakers to outside the school, park it, and then just start blasting music out with text requests.
So the headmistress comes, like they're pushing through all these pupils, which are like head and shoulders taller than her, and she's like stomping her little feet. She looks like a little gremlin. She goes over.
Can't call short people gremlins.
I'm sure I'm allowed to say that.
That's short privilege.
Yeah. Anyway, She gets the permit. Like they're illegally allowed to be playing music.
They're illegally
there.
allowed.
They are legally allowed. And she basically just gets really angry, turns around and storms back off through the crowd. But it's so funny. She's like, it's bordering on child abuse. She's like whacking these people out of the way.
To be fair, they were asking for it. I love Stacy. Stacy still fancies Gavin. She's still his prom date. But she knows that Gavin fancies Tara, and she knows that Tara fancies Gavin. Because whenever they talk to each other, you can see Stacey run across the room and jump between them and physically cockblock him. And it's just like, no. She does it so many times as well. It's so
like
funny.
in the get up and dance scene when they're in the classroom, Stacey's like, no, I'm not dancing. And suddenly,
As Tara starts to dance.
Tara's dancing towards Gavin, little hook on the line.
Little hook on the line.
And she gets up and starts doing this.
She literally just shakes her end like a bee in a pollen pile. It's like, what's she doing?
She was just
She was
chucking her
forming a
arms
wall.
around.
She was forming a physical wall out of her anus at the girl. It was ridiculous. Oh. So she's very dedicated to cockblocking Gavin, which is he's her man technically at that point. So
I know.
kinda he's going to prom with her, but they're not going out.
Not going out, but they're going to
They could be
prom.
going as friends, or they could be going to boost their own popularity. If I was a popular girl and I wanted to be popular prom queen, I'd go to the most popular guy, even if I didn't fancy him, and even if he didn't fancy me. We could become prom king and queen. It'd be a campaign move, like choosing a good vice president. So I could see her logic there. She might not even fancy him. She's just using him to get to the top, which is cute. Like, she kind of has a dream.
Yeah, but even if she did that, like, just as a campaign move, she still have to make sure they didn't cheat on her with
Tara,
or else
oh my god, it could
that
ruin
would
her
look
camera.
shocking. That
To be
would.
fair, it would
Scandal.
make Tara look awful. Man stealer.
It would make her look awful too. Like
Yeah.
the person that got.
Yeah,
she
you'd be
didn't-
like sympathy votes. Her man got stolen by that she devil Tara coming in with her Radio Rebel, even though we don't know who she is. So yeah, but it's really weird because her dad owns the radio station that Radio Rebel works on, and everyone's like, "Who is it, Tara?" And she's like, "Oh, my dad doesn't let me know." And they're just like, "Okay, that's fine. That's a believable thing." Like you
No.
wouldn't sneak into the radio studio and find out when your dad owns it.
It's not.
If this was a
believable.
film about her finding out who Radio Rebel was, it would be easy. It'd be done in 5 minutes because she'd go up to the security guard. It's like, yeah, my dad said to meet him here. And he'd be like, all right. And she'd just walk in. So she would have done, if she was a girl who loved Radio Rebel and wanted to find out who she was, she would have done that. So
True.
there's no excuse. My notes, they get better at this point. I put, it got better. I wrote in my notes, like, it got better as it went along. Because you got the Radio Rebel fighting the school, but they go too far. Because Radio Rebel gets voted prom queen, and she's like blasting back at Stacy, and then the headmistress bans prom.
I know. And then they have that little demonstration outside of the radio studio.
That's not before they take away prom. That's
After
well
they
that's
take
well before
away
they take away
prom.
prom. I thought the demonstration.
They take away prom.
Oh no, yes, you're talking about the riots. I was thinking of the entertaining the kids, but no, the kids
no.
hate Radio Rebel because they stole their prom.
Yeah, so they have a little demonstration outside. They have the placards going, we hate Radio Rebel.
Because they wanted initial plan was they wanted Radio. I didn't get why the headmistress cancelled Radio Rebel though. Prom, because she wanted Radio Rebel to go to prom, get elected prom queen, and then find her out.
Yeah, but I think at that point, Radio Rebel hadn't been nominated for prom queen, had she?
She had, because the mum was still going on about her going to prom, and if her mum was going on about her going to prom, there must have been a prom to go to.
But she doesn't, like, I think she wanted to go for social, like,
Yeah.
make everyone feel guilty for ruining everyone's prom.
True. I actually wrote in my notes, why doesn't the radio station just host their own prom? And then the radio station said, host their own prom. They called it Morp. That scene where she figures out, like the woman says, oh, I can't believe that headmistress is thinking so backwards. And then she's like, you got it, backwards. And then she's like, what? Backwards. And then she turns around and looks like she's got the most insightful thing ever said. Backwards. And it's the most hilarious. Her face is so ridiculous.
It's not even, like, smart. It's just more.
Backwards.
And then it's like you don't even have to wear a suit because it's not prom.
Does that offend you? Do you want to be Morp Queen in your pink dress?
No, I don't want to be Morph Queen because it's not proper. It's Morph.
Do you have a
Isn't it?
prom?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Were
Well,
you
we
prom
didn't,
queen?
We didn't have prom queen.
Oh my god. Are you
'Cause-
devastated? I know your dream has always
yeah.
been to be prom queen.
Of course. Do it after uni.
Oh my god. I'll wait
No.
for that.
It's very American though, isn't it? The film. The
Yeah,
emphasis.
it's set in America. It's there's Americans in it. I'd imagine there was even American writers on it.
You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
emphasis that is placed on prom and like everyone's reaction, the tears, the breakdowns over not being prom queen. It's very stereotypically an American high school.
It's not as pro prom as some of the films though, as some Disney films or some teen films in America. If you think about, do you remember Cinderella Story?
Yeah.
That's all about prom. I think it's prom. It's either prom or some big dance. It's some big dance kind of thing.
I think it's.
It might be prom.
Might
But
be
they got
the
that like
spring dance or
masquerade
something.
ball. Yeah, they have like pre-prom prom,
Oh, yeah.
like practice proms to find out who might be, and part of the prom king and queen come. There's films that have done it worse. This was pretty understated compared to
True.
some of the other stuff.
The mum though.
The mum, she's like, Mum, I can't go to prom because then they'll kick me out of school. They say, Radio Rebel will find you, will expel you. And her mum's like, Radio Rebel got nominated for prom. And she's like, I can't go or they'll expel me. And the mum's like, you're going. She's like, Mum, no. It's
It's
like, no.
like-
Sorry, hun. You're going to prom.
Pretty certain parents aren't meant to be like hoping that their kids get expelled just so they can be prom queen.
Her dad, a good parent. When the headmistress makes the threats against Radio Rebel, he's like, all right, I don't want you to be Radio Rebel anymore. And she's like, but Dad, I can do it. I will fight the school. And he's like, are you sure? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, all right, you go for it, kiddo. And then she does like a broadcast about how she's not scared of the school. And then everyone has these amazing fears.
Oh god.
It's so good. Larry and Barry own the scene again.
Their fears are the best.
It was Larry or Barry. I forget which one. One's looks like a rooster. He's got like a huge nose that takes up half his head, doesn't he?
Huh, they're meant to be twins.
What? One's
Yeah.
ginger.
I have no idea why.
They're not
but
twins, are they?
yeah, they are meant to be twins.
Oh my god, your notes are far superior to mine. Then I've missed that amazing thing.
No, so Larry and Barry are twins, and that makes the bit where they wear matching clothes even cuter when they all wear red.
I think it's less cute. Twins wear the same clothes all the time. Best friends should wear the same clothes more. They've coordinated. They put effort in.
Oh,
They call in one. I can't remember which one. Larry, I think maybe. It's like, oh no, I'm scared that I'll explode if I go near a microwave because I ate tinfoil as a
Yeah.
kid.
One time, I accidentally swallowed a tiny piece of tinfoil, so now I'm afraid if I stand too close to the microwave, I'll explode.
And then that's not even that funny because it's just dumb. But then Barry rings in. His greatest fear is like, I think Larry's losing it.
I'm afraid Larry might be losing it.
So good.
oh yeah, that was funny.
I had a thought at this point in the film. Is her dad paying her for Radio Rebel? Or is this just child
That is a
exploitation?
good point.
Because he's using her 7 till 9 every night of the week. That's a lot of time for a kid.
That
I don't know how old
is.
she is. It's prom, so end of school, 17.
Yeah.
Unless
What about her A levels or GCSEs, whatever she's doing?
American school's complicated.
Oh right.
They got middle school as well.
Well, she must have homework. Like what?
Radio Rebel doesn't do homework. She fights the power. To be fair, she's doing. What's she doing? She's a creative writing course person, isn't she? Because she's been
Just
put with the
drama.
drama. No, because the drama students got put with them to do a project. Because remember at the beginning, she said the drama students are coming in, so she's clearly not an actual drama student, which is why it's more confusing why they expected to act. I would have thought she'd have written it because she was writing a lot. So I thought maybe she's a writer. Explains why she can do radio programs, kind of, not really. And they're like, okay, but no.
No,
No.
just no.
No. So prom's cancelled. The mob turn on her. The radio station say, well, okay, we'll just hire a building and do our own prom called Morp. And then Stacey's like, no Morp, it's not prom. And then she's like, wait a minute, I can be queen still. Morp queen, vote for me, please.
Oh god, she just jumps on the bandwagon, didn't she?
She does a bit. She figures out that Tara might be Radio Rebel. She doesn't know for sure. She basically knows.
Yeah, she's quite a smart little bully.
Imbecile.
Yeah.
She's quite a smart little terrible Disney character. Yeah, she figures it out and she's like, I'm going to host the biggest party ever, Tara. And if you're not there at 7 o'clock during the 7 o'clock Radio Rebel broadcast, I'll know you're Radio Rebel. And then she's like, oh no, I'm not Radio Rebel, but I will be there at 7 o'clock to prove that I'm not Radio Rebel.
I love how she calls up and then they use like recorded voice pieces.
She leaves her mum in charge, but with loads of sound bites of her with sort of things like, I'm listening, I'm there for you, that kind of thing, just generic stock responses.
And then Stacey calls up and she's asking all these questions, starting to get on to the fact that these are pre-recorded things. So Tara goes and runs up to the bathroom.
And she does a call, and you can hear the guys from the party knocking on the bathroom door, and it's ridiculous. It's like a Scooby-Doo scene. So she runs up the stairs, but Tara runs down the other stairs, and she's still doing the thing, and it's ridiculous. It was too campy for this film. This film's been pretty grounded. It's a grounded film.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, I'm gonna build a radio station in my garage. No, she just uses the dads. She like does a weird thing in her room, but she uses the dads. It makes sense for most part. And Larry and Barry, they steal the party scene because Larry starts accusing Barry of being Radio Rebel. And he's like, but I'm a guy. And it's like, yeah, the perfect cover. If Larry's even your real name.
You sure you weren't setting up a broadcast station from a remote satellite? You're accusing me of being Radio Rebel? One, I've been helping you search for her this whole time, and two, I'm a guy. Oh, a perfect cover, Larry, if that is your real name.
That makes I'm even more confused because I thought they were just best friends, but they're twins. This new twin news has overturned everything. I have to rewatch the film now. It's a whole new light on it. So yeah, so she's running around the house. She gets away with it. But then during the recording, she sends the bully has a little lackey like they always do. It's like, oh, you're so pretty, Stacey. And she sends this bully disguised as a pizza delivery person, which I thought was ridiculous. There's a whole 10 minutes of ridiculousness in this film.
Roller skates for some reason.
Roller skates are in America. This was 2012?
Yeah.
This is 2012. Roller skates are the big thing. When was that?
Did all the pizza delivery people
Ellen Page
wear them?
Ellen Page had that roller skating film. Maybe that was recent. Remember that?
No.
It's like Roller Derby or Whip It or something. I
Oh,
don't remember.
right.
Pretty bad, but it was around, and she's around. Anyway, so roller skating, she's roller skating. She takes pictures of her mum, and she records her mum saying, oh, it's such a good thing that Tara is such a good Radio Rebel, or something like that. And so they got the proof.
Oh, yeah.
And so Stacey ruins the drama project because she's mean. She's a meanie by beanie pants.
Oh, the bit where she locks her in the cupboard.
She doesn't out her though, which I respected. She blackmails Radio Rebel. She says, Radio Rebel, you got to tell all your listeners to vote for me for Morp Queen. And I'm like, she's getting something out of it. She's not just going to run to the head.
I know, but if she did run to the head, then Radio Rebel would be expelled.
And therefore she'd be Morp Queen by default. But you don't know who's going to win. You don't know who's going to vote for who. What if there's a best friend character? She's like the same best friend in every Disney Channel movie. Like Seacad. They don't do anything. They're there for support.
Yeah.
They do little. She does little. She's better than me. She has a spork play. She does a whole play on sporks. I appreciate that.
Alas, poor Spork. I used to marry. He was a wondrous and versatile utensil, a fork and a spoon.
No, she's a nice character, but she's
She's
not
nice,
important.
but she's really quick to turn. She's like, where you been Saturday? And she's like,
Oh,
I can't tell you. It's like, you're not my friend. She's like, don't worry, it's a secret. I'm like, oh, okay. And then the next day, she's like, where were you last night? It's like, I was doing Radio Rebel. I mean, I wasn't. And she's like, oh, I hate you. And then she's like, I'm Radio Rebel. And she's like, oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
I thought she'd out her accidentally. I predicted that her dumb best friend, because she's pretty dumb, she'd be like, oh, it's a secret. Don't tell anybody, but Tara's Radio Rebel. But no, she actually kept the secret, which was pleasing.
Plot pluses.
Plot pluses. So, they get to the Morp, and so she's been blackmailing us saying vote Morp Queen, but Radio Rebel still wins Morp Queen, and it's devastating. Back at her house, back at the party, sorry, I forgot to mention, they went into her room and they showed that she's always wanted to be a princess, and as a kid she always dressed up as a princess every day. I thought that was kind of cute.
That was cute, and that was like quite depressing.
But then Radio Rebel turns on her as proper bitter after. Like, she tries to sass her a little bit, like no more than normal.
Yeah.
So she's at her regular bully level. And then Tara just whips around after that whole bonding moment about her wanting to be a princess. She's like, I'm going to put you downstairs and bury you in the ground. I'm Radio Rebel. I'm going to be Morp Queen.
She does not say that.
I'm taking you downtown. But yeah. So she blackmailed her. They go to the thing. Radio Rebel wins, and looks like no one's going to collect the prize. But then she goes, "I'm Radio Rebel." And she goes down from a staircase, just like, yeah, it's been me the
dramatic.
whole time. And then the head just jumps on the stage, like, "Thank you, Radio Rebel, you're expelled."
Oh, I know. I love the bit when she's walking down the stairs. It's so over the top dramatic.
It's like every Disney film ever when the princess is a princess. I like that Greg didn't. The bad, nasty band person, not Gavin, wins prom king. Gabe. Yeah, he wins prom king. But he's not. They don't really go into it. It's not like they take his crown from him for being a jerk. No, he won it and he gets it. And
Yeah.
that's what he wanted, really. And then the headmistress is like, "I'm expelling you, Radio Rebel." And then her dumb best friend from the crowd goes, "I'm Radio Rebel." And then Larry and Barry go, "I'm Radio Rebel. I'm Radio." And then everybody in the crowd goes, "They're Radio Rebel." And then her friend from the radio station's like, you can't expel everybody, headmistress." And then it's like, "Oh, yay, good for Spartacus moments."
I remember watching this the first time and thinking, like, as soon as she says it, like, the best friend says, "I'm Radio Rebel," I was like, "What are you doing? You're not." And then everyone else started to say it, and I kind of caught on. But the first
Took
time I
you a
watched
bit.
it, I was just like, why?
Oh
You
dear.
idiot. You're going to get expelled too.
You're going to get expelled too. Well, one day, we'll all get expelled.
Yeah.
So overall, Radio Rebel, it's all right. There are worse Disney films out there. Teen Beach is better. You can't deny Teen Beach is better. It was more fun. A lot of fun, a lot of laughs.
It was good. But we're all finished now?
Did it hold up to your childhood, though? Was it as good as you remember? No, I think. the answer
No,
is
it
no.
wasn't as good as I remember.
And it's nowhere near as good as I remember. This trailer sold me. My worst part of the film. When everyone's doing about fears, she runs outside and she screams to the sky. It's like, "I'm afraid of..." I can't remember what she's afraid of. But then it like zooms in on her like 3 times and it echoes.
that
And
bit
it's
is...
like, "I'm afraid."
I'm afraid to show people the real me.
That's the cringiest bit of
It's
the movie.
the worst part of the movie. So I've covered all my points. The real me ends on that song. It's air. It's generic trash. It was a good film. It was better than I thought. The trailer undersold it, but there's nothing like to go for. There's nothing. It's the same premise as Hannah Montana. I haven't seen Hannah Montana, but I know the premise. She's a secret rock star. You have. Am I right? She's a secret rock star. She puts on a wig and nobody knows. It's that kind of premise. It's good for a Disney thing. There are better ones. Like Cinderella Story. I enjoyed Cinderella Story more as a kid, but I haven't seen that since I was a kid. So
Well, we will discuss that next.
next time
Or
when we
maybe
get to
next
it,
time, who
maybe
knows?
next time we'll get to it if we got to.
So, thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening. Till next week.